Vancouver is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. The views, the oceans, the skyline. But not every part of the city feels like the Vancouver you see online. Some neighborhoods look great in listings, but once you move in, the reality is completely different. You'll find noise, poor infrastructure, rising crime, and in some cases, serious livability issues that never make it onto the real estate brochure. My name is Shahrad Sardari. I'm a local realtor here in Metro Vancouver, and in this video, I'm breaking down the 5 worst neighborhoods in the city of Vancouver. These are areas I'd tell clients to think twice about, not because they don't have potential, but because they come with major problems that most people overlook. For number 1, I want to address the elephant in the room, so we're starting with the obvious one: Hastings, the downtown Eastside, and the surrounding parts of Strathcona. And I'll be blunt, this is one of the parts of Vancouver I would never recommend living in under any circumstances. This area runs east from Main Street to Clark Drive, covering parts of East Hastings, Pender, Pryor, and Union. It's Vancouver's most troubled neighborhood, and the issues here aren't subtle. Homelessness, drug addiction, and mental health issues are visible on every single block. Encampments lining the sidewalks, open drug use happens in broad daylight, and police, paramedics, and fire trucks are rotating constantly through the same streets. Storefronts are shuttered or covered in steel bars, businesses close early because of safety concerns, windows are boarded up, and for people living in the area, noise, theft, and vandalism are part of daily life. Citywide violent crime hit a 20-year low in 2025, but that improvement hasn't touched this area. The downtown Eastside still records the highest concentration of violent and property crime in Vancouver, and that's by a wide margin. You can literally feel the change in atmosphere as soon as you cross Main Street heading east. Strathcona, which borders it, gets caught in the middle. It's full of heritage homes and community spirit, but a spillover from Hastings makes living there difficult. Even beautiful homes can sit beside problem properties or halfway houses. You can spend over $2 million on a renovation, character home, and still hear shouting outside at night. I don't care if you're renting, buying, or investing, the quality of life here just isn't worth it. No view, no location, and no discount can offset the constant sense of tension. That's why downtown Eastside and Strathcona sit firmly at number 1. Number 2 is Marpole. Marpole sits at the very southwest corner of Vancouver, tucked between Granville and Oak Street, right along the Fraser River. It's technically part of the west side, but once you drive in, it feels nothing like it. Start with the noise. This area sits directly below the flight path for Vancouver International Airport. Planes fly overhead from early morning until midnight, sometimes every few minutes, and it's constant, and it's loud. And if you value quiet, this is not the place for you. Then there's traffic. Marine Drive, Oak Street, and Granville all feed into bridges connecting to Richmond, which means non-stop congestion, especially during rush hour. Even residential side streets aren't immune. You'll hear the hum of cars all day. The housing stock is old. Most homes were built in the 1950s or 60s and have seen patchy renovations at best. A lot of these properties are still running on outdated wiring, old furnaces, and drafty windows. You'll see small aging bungalows squeezed between newer duplexes and commercial buildings. Walkability is low. Once you leave the Marine Gateway pocket, there's not much around. You'll find some small convenience stores, a few local restaurants, and older strip malls, but no real community hub. Sidewalks are inconsistent, and parks feel like an afterthought. Safety isn't terrible, but the area does sit slightly above the Vancouver average crime for properties. Mostly theft from vehicles and porch piracy. Lighting is weak on certain blocks, which makes it uncomfortable at night, and the biggest issue here is value. For what you pay in taxes and insurance, you don't get the West Side experience. No beaches, no views, and no high-end feel. It's practical, but it's bland and dated. A lot of people move here thinking it's a good entry point to Vancouver's West Side, but most end up trading livability for location on paper. That's why Marpole comes in at number 2. It's not unsafe, but unappealing and overpriced for what it actually offers. Number 3 is Renfrew-Collingwood, which covers the entire eastern edge of Vancouver, right along the Burnaby border. It's massive, it's dense, and it's one of the most overbuilt neighborhoods in the city. Kingsway slices right through it, loud, chaotic, full of traffic lights, gas stations, and aging storefronts. At rush hour, it's gridlock in both directions. And because of the constant development, you'll see cranes, trucks, and construction noise almost every day of the year. This neighborhood is built for density, not livability. Around Joyce and 29th Avenue, SkyTrain stations, you'll see towers, older rentals, and detached homes crammed together with no visual consistency. A concrete condo beside a 1940s bungalow, beside a 3-story walk-up, and it's a patchwork of cityscape. Day-to-day living here can be stressful. Street parking is nearly impossible, sidewalks are uneven and narrow, lighting is poor on side streets, and because there are so many renters and commuters, it never feels settled. According to VPD data, property crime in this area remains high, especially around SkyTrain stations. Vehicle theft, break-ins, and vandalism are common. It's not violent crime, but it's nuance crimes that wear people down over time. Schools are overcrowded, community centers are aging, and even something simple like running errands or finding a quiet coffee shop can feel like work. Yes, homes here are cheaper than most of Vancouver, and that's the main draw, but it's a short-term win. Most people who buy here move out within a few years because of the constant congestion and noise. It's one of those places that makes sense on paper, but not when you live there daily. That's why Renfrew-Collingwood sits at number 3. Before moving on to the next one, if you're enjoying the video so far, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. And if you disagree with me, leave it in the comments. Number 4 is Grandview-Woodlands. This neighborhood sits just east of downtown and stretches up towards Hastings. It's centered around Commercial Drive, one of Vancouver's most recognizable areas, known for its cafes, independent shops, and strong sense of culture. At first, it seems great. Lively, artistic, and full of character. But living here long-term is a very different experience. The number one issue is inconsistency. You can walk down one street that feels vibrant and welcoming, and 2 blocks later, you'll find graffiti-covered storefronts, late-night noise, and alley activity that makes residents uneasy. North of Venables and west towards Clark Drive, the area gets rougher. You're closer to industrial zones, truck routes, and the same issues that spill over from Hastings. Visible homelessness, loitering, and petty theft. It's unpredictable, and that inconsistency creates a real divide within the neighborhood. The housing stock is all over the map as well. Character homes from the 1920s besides half-renovated duplexes. 3-story rentals beside laneway houses. It's not uniform, and that lack of structure can hurt resale and long-term value. Police data from 2024 showed an increase in robberies and assaults in this area compared to the year before. It's not the most dangerous neighborhoods in Vancouver, but a mix of nightlife, transit, and high rental turnover keeps things on edge. Parking is brutal, the drive is packed day and night, and side streets fill up quickly. Noise carries late into the evening, especially in summer when patios are open. It's part of the East Van lifestyle, but not everyone wants to live in it full time. If you love the culture, you'll overlook the problems. But for most buyers or renters who want peace and predictability, this neighborhood is a constant trade-off between energy and comfort. That's why Grandview-Woodlands sits at number 4. Number 5 is Sunset. This neighborhood covers a huge section of South Vancouver, centered around Main Street and Fraser Street between 41st and 57th. It's one of those neighborhoods that's technically Vancouver, but it doesn't really feel like it. The housing is old, mostly bungalows from the 1960s and 70s, many with unauthorized suites or half-finished renovations. You'll see additions built decades apart, mismatched siding, and small lots with aging fences. It's not unsafe, but it looks tired. Transit access is weak, no SkyTrain, just slow buses that get caught in traffic on Main and Fraser. If you work downtown, you're commuting over 40 minutes each way minimum. There's no real local hub either. Fraser Street and Main have pockets of good restaurants and small businesses, but it's not enough to define the area. Most residents drive elsewhere for groceries, entertainment, and parks. The area is family heavy, which sounds fantastic until you realize that means quiet streets, little nightlife, and almost nothing happening after 8 p.m. You don't get the walkability, scenery, or energy that most people picture when they think of Vancouver. Crime is moderate but rising very slightly, mostly property related. The bigger issue is infrastructure. Older plumbing, poor drainage, uneven roads, and lack of greenery make it feel neglected compared to the other neighborhoods. If you want a detached house in Vancouver, you'll find one here for less, but you'll also sacrifice everything that makes the city appealing. Ocean views, proximity to downtown, and lifestyle. That's why Sunset closes out the list at number 5. Vancouver's an incredible city, but every neighborhood isn't built the same. Some areas offer great value and lifestyle, others come with problems you'll feel every day. Before you decide where to live, take the time to walk the streets, visit at night, and see how it actually feels. That's how you separate good location from expensive mistakes.